Hello everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to the brand new series on Apache Kafka. I have designed a new series on Apache Kafka, and if you want to become a strong backend developer, if you want to become a Java full stack developer or a microservice engineer, then Kafka is must learn technology and it should be in your bucket. So Kafka is one of the most important technologies you must learn in 2026. So today almost every large scale company like Netflix, Uber, Amazon, LinkedIn uses Kafka for handling the real time data processing at a very massive scale. So in this complete series, we are not just going to learn the theory, but we are also going to see with an example. And in this series is going to help you a lot to understand the Kafka from scratch. And I have thought to design this Kafka series in such a manner that is going to be very helpful to the beginners. So let's see what we are going to cover in this series. So the agenda of this series is like we will deeply understand and divide the learning into multiple sections or multiple modules. In the first section, we are mostly going to focus on Kafka ecosystem. And under that, we are going to discuss what is Kafka, what is Apache Kafka, and then we are going to discuss Apache Kafka core concepts, Kafka core concepts, Kafka stream core concepts, and then Kafka SQL core concepts, and when to use what and in what scenarios, and how we are going to implement all these things we are going to see in section 1 or module 1. In the second module or in section 2, we are going to see Kafka and what things are required for it. And then in the third section, we will discuss about the Apache Kafka storage architecture. And in the fourth section, we are going to discuss about Apache Kafka cluster architecture. So these two sections are going to be very, very important. And then we will discuss Kafka producers internals. And in sixth section, we are going to discuss about advanced Kafka producers. And then in the seventh section, we are also going to do some like mini project. And the best part is that everything will be explained with real world example and internal flow diagram. So if you really want to understand the event driven architecture and modern distributed system, then this series is going to be extremely valuable for you. So guys, if this series is going to helpful to you, then please hit the like button and also subscribe the channel so that it will bring me the motivation to create such lectures for you. So without any delay, let's start with the very first section part. And then so guys, welcome to the Apache Kafka. So big picture for the beginners, I'm assuming that you are an absolute beginner, and so we are going to start from a scratch. In the first lecture, in the section 1, we are going to talk about following things. Let us start with the first question, that what is Apache Kafka? If you look at the Apache Kafka documentation, it says Apache Kafka is an event streaming platform. So what does event streaming platform means? In simple word, you can say an event stream platform is a software system basically that captures, stores, and processes a continuous flow of data as it happens in real time. Basically, instead of saving the data to look at later, it immediately broadcasts the events. For example, let's say if user clicks a button or a bank transfer a fund to any system that need to know. So all these things are happening in a real time, right? In the similar manner, Apache Kafka is happening in a real time. So that's why it is a streaming platform. And also it means two things. First, you can use Apache Kafka to create one or more real time streams of data. And second, you can use Apache Kafka to process this stream and produce the result in real time. Okay, so yeah, so like we are going to see what these terms mean and how you can correlate using the real world example. So when I say real time, I mean in minutes, in seconds, or even in a milliseconds. Okay, so let's see one real time example so that you can understand where or what is the use case of Apache Kafka in the real project. Let's assume that you have a smart electricity meter in your house, okay, and your meter is generating the load. Yep, and your meter is like generating a load related to the data every minute. So left side is your electricity meter, which is generating the data every minute, and then this data somehow goes to the Kafka server. So the Kafka server continuously receiving the data every minute from my smart meters. Okay, so similarly, the same Kafka server receives the data from the other meters in your city, right? And all that comes to the Kafka server, resulting in a continuous stream of data. From this Kafka server is receiving the data from your house and from your neighbor house and also from the whole city. So whole city data is coming to the Kafka server. Okay, so that is having a continuous stream of data. This is what we call a real time stream of data, because in real time, the Kafka server is receiving the streams of data and bringing data from your smart meter to your Kafka server is what we call creating a real time streams. I hope you got the point. Now, once your data is coming and landing into the Apache Kafka server, you have also created an application to read and process the data, right? Because all this data you are using to do some like analytics, maybe in a dashboard you are using to monitor and doing the computation to understand the load of the electricity in the particular house, correct? For example, you are computing and monitoring the overall electricity load for every house. So basically, let's say one use case, as soon as the charge goes above a predefined threshold, let's say there is a like threshold value of 2 kilovolt ampere, so you are sending an SMS to the house owner to alert him, or a notification to the house owner if this threshold value is passed. Okay, but this kind of SMS alert does not make any sense if you are sending these notifications after an hour or maybe after some time. So you want to send such alerts or notification in a seconds or maybe at least 2 or 3 minutes, right? After the threshold value get passed. So your application is not accumulating the data and then processing it to compute. If the threshold is broken or passed, it must be continuously listen to the data and processing it, and then as soon as the data arrives at the Kafka server, and as the threshold pass, then it should send the notification to the house owner. So that is what we call the real time stream processing, because in real time you're receiving the data, the Kafka is receiving the data, and then doing the processing, and further processing it is computing and then doing some task, I mean sending the notification to the owners. Okay, so the answer of the first question is that Apache Kafka is highly scalable and distributed platform for creating and processing the streams in real time. I hope you got what is Apache Kafka. Now let's see how does it work. Okay, so Kafka basically adapts pub and sub messaging system architecture, and it work as an enterprise messaging system basically. I hope you already understand about enterprise messaging system architecture. If not, don't worry, I am going to explain it right here. A typical messaging system has basically three components. First is the producer, second is the message broker, and third is the consumer. So left is the message producer, in the middle, in the top is the message broker, and in the bottom right is the message consumer, right? So producer is a client application that sends the data records, okay? And these data records are called as message. So this producer will produce the data and the data will send back as a record, and this is called as message. And the broker is responsible for receiving the messages from the producer and storing them into the local storage. So message broker is basically storing all the messages or data received by the producer in a local storage. And finally, the consumer here are again the client application that reads the message from the broker and process them. In this architecture, the broker is in the center and act as a middleware between the producer and the consumer. I hope this diagram is clear to you. But if you recall the same smart meter example which I have given earlier, right here, the left side of the system, including your smart meter, is act as a data producer. The Kafka server is in the center, is the message broker, and the very right side box or the diagram or the dashboard is an application, is the consumer because it is consuming the data. Correct? So this is like 100,000 feet view, the high view of Kafka works. But it answers your question, right? How Kafka works. Kafka work as a pub sub messaging system where we create the producer application to send the data as a stream. So we install and configure the Kafka server to act as a message broker. Okay. And then finally, we create the consumer application to process the data stream in a real time. That's all. This is the pub sub architecture with Kafka follows. I hope you understand this, right? If you have still any doubt, then you can comment. I will try to reply and make your doubt clear. The next question comes is where does it come from? Okay. So you might be wondering where did Apache Kafka actually comes from? Kafka was originally uh, developed inside LinkedIn. At that time, LinkedIn has a million of users generating real-time activities like messages, notification, profile updates, and the analytics events updates. So handling the massive real-time data flow become extremely difficult using a traditional system. So LinkedIn developers or the engineers created a Kafka to solve this problem. Later, Kafka became open source under the Apache Software Foundation, and today it is one of the most important technologies in modern distributed system and microservice architecture. So LinkedIn tried to solve this problem using pub sub messaging architecture, and result looked like this. They placed a broker in the middle as we discussed, and other application started working as a producer and the consumers. So this architecture offered them a bunch of advantage and simplified the solution. So we will learn more about the benefit of this architecture maybe later. However, you got the answer right. Where does it come from? And maybe you can pose it and then you can understand more about this. So here I have tried to bring out a diagram where before Kafka, the problem, and then after Kafka, the solution. Okay. So might be you can pose it and you can means understand it. This is self-explanatory, but still if you find any query, any doubt, please feel free to comment. I will try to respond back. Okay, so let's go ahead. Next question is how it evolved from a data integration solution to a streaming platform. Kafka initially started with two things. Okay, server software that you can install and configure to work as a message broker, or a Java based client API library to help with the following. So basically, it creates Kafka producer application and creates Kafka consumer application. But later, Kafka inspired to become a full fledged real time streaming platform. And to achieve that objective, they augmented Kafka with three more components. First, that is Kafka Connect. Second, that is Kafka Stream. And third, that is KSQL. So basically, Kafka Connect and Kafka Streams are still open source component and they are available with Apache 2.0 license. However, this KSQL is available with some licensing restriction. So you have to buy a license and it is offered by the Confluent. And like in the near future, in the near past, like last year, December, Confluent was acquired by IBM. So now IBM has acquired the Confluent as a so you have to use the KSQL as a commercial tool. I mean, you have to buy a license to use this. Okay. So Basically Kafka broker, which is the central server. Okay, so let me show you. So these are the parts, I mean the components. So Kafka broker, this is the central server system. Kafka client API, this is the producer and the consumer API. And Kafka Connect, which address the initial data integration problem for which the Kafka was initially designed. And Kafka Stream, this is one of the another library for creating real-time stream processing application. And last, that is KSQL. With KSQL, Kafka is now aiming to become the real-time database and capture some market sharing databases and DW spaces. Finally, the last question of this lecture is, where does it fit into an enterprise application ecosystem? So by adopting pub sub semantics, Apache Kafka is becoming the circulatory system of your data ecosystem. Basically, in this case, just like your circulatory system carries the blood of your body, in a similar manner Kafka brings data to the various member of the infrastructure. Okay, so data producer can send data like messaging, and they can send it to the Kafka brokers as quickly as the business event occur. And the next, the data consumer can consume the messages from the broker as soon as the data arrives at the broker. With careful design, the messages can reach from producer to consumer in a milliseconds. Correct. So the producer and the consumer are completely decoupled, and they do not need any tight coupling or direct connection. Correct. They always interact with Kafka broker using a consistent interface. So producer do not need to concern about who is using the data, and they just send the data once without worrying about how many consumers could be reading it. So they are totally independent. So producer and consumers can be added, can be removed, or modified as a business case involves. Right, I hope you understand this. So this was the first lecture on this with a basic overview idea from a very 100 feet high. This is just an overview. So see you in the next lecture with a more detailed discussion. Keep learning, keep growing. If you like this video, then please hit the like button and also subscribe it, so that it will modify so that it will like it will like